And thank you everybody for making time to join us this evening. Our guest speakers in absentia, Ambassador Eli Kamayungje, Dr. Marius Obona, Mrs. Lydia Nakayenza Schubert, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. It's with much delight that I welcome you once again to this evening's discussion on the Diaspora and the Rest of Africa Partnerships Initiative. This is, like Emmanuel has said, this is one of 4 outcomes from the post-conference working groups of the Inspire Conference 2021, Africa Get Ready. It's indeed an even greater pleasure for us to have our panel of speakers leave their busy schedules to come and speak to us this evening. So who are we? For the sake of those that haven't interacted with us before, Inspire is an annual thought leadership and motivational conference whose aim is to equip today's dynamic and aspiring professionals to change the continent of Africa through innovation, inspirational leadership, and upholding excellent work ethics. The conference has been running for way over 18 years, and we've been able to attract more than 5,000 professionals in the marketplace, cutting across the various corporate and business entities, private and public institutions across Africa. This conference Inspire Synergy is the brainchild of a team of dynamic and enlightened professionals that have a zeal to uphold excellent work ethics and service delivery in Africa. And the conference is designed as Inspire. The main activity we do is run a conference, and what we are presenting to you today is just an offshoot from that. After the last conference, we broke up into working groups to try and put practical actions towards the learnings that we got from this year's experience. So this conference is designed for professionals, business people, institutions, and individuals that are interested in transforming and influencing change in the marketplace. And since our inception, we've impacted the lives of professionals to bring about change in the global marketplace. We passionately believe that the time is now for Africa to arise and take its place in the global marketplace, and we want to lead in this revolution. And so as a commitment to this quest, we hold that annual conference among other initiatives that bring together all like-minded people, members, partners, and associates from the marketplace. So I just want to bring, tonight we're making a case for the Diaspora and the Rest of Africa Partnership Initiative. I just want to give us a bit of sight of where we came from this year. When I introduced the Inspire Conference in July, I had a very clear burden about it being time for Africa. And I'll just make a few statements here, and then I'll get into my presentation. So Africa continues to lag behind the rest of the world in almost every sphere of influence, and by any measure of vital statistic that is used to compare performance of nations against each other. Africa lags behind, and Africa has for far too long laid back as she places blame on her situation on current predicaments on her past. Africa blames itself on anything and everything that has happened before, and on everyone and anyone that has lived or governed before them. We blame the old, we blame the deceased, we blame everyone. Everyone else points to somebody else to blame for the situation of Africa today. And the challenge that I made to us is enough is enough. We cannot continue blaming others for what we are into. We cannot blame our current fate on the past. It's time for Africans to forget about their past as an excuse, and we begin to move on and to move forward. It's time for Africa to take hold of her own destiny and begin to chart out new paths to her future as she fixes her own problems. It's time for Africa to take her destiny into her own hands, as there is absolutely no one else that's going to come to solve Africa's problem except Africans and Africa itself. And that is why this year we are particularly rallying Africans and lovers of Africa from various parts of the world to come together and under the theme Africa Get Ready, so that we can come together and have the same realization that it is indeed time for Africa and not just a rhetorical cliche. It's time for Africans to assemble together and begin to do something about it. And we want to lead in orchestrating this meeting and this movement. We believe that the challenge that we want to bring forth this year is the urgency for Africa's readiness. And what we want is because we believe that we're standing at the threshold of Africa's greatest marketplace revolution. And we believe that Africans in the diaspora, like the Bible talks about the Daniels, the Josephs, the Nehemiahs, all these were people in the diaspora. These Daniel, Joseph, Nehemiah were diasporans. And I believe that the diaspora is going to play a pivotal role in making this happen. When Africans come together and begin to collaborate more and invest more into the development of Africa, the demographics are clear that that Africa is the youngest continent in the world. And that means we have the opportunity, we've got a lot of young people. And so what I believe is the young people are resourceful, the young people are innovative, but what they're lacking is resources, is capital. And the conviction that we have and the case that we're going to make is that if Africans in the diaspora can come together, I know some people have tried to go and invest back home as individuals, and it's been tough for some of you. And what we're going to be discussing in a minute is the challenges. We've looked at the challenges that the diaspora have faced, and we've also tried to bring out the opportunities. And so we know that, yes, there are challenges that you've had, but if we can come together as one block, one of the things I believe is that if we can become a formidable block of diaspora, we're using a case study of Uganda for tonight's presentation very much because it's within reach, so we're able to get some people to represent the government, just to give us a sense on what is being done from the government point of view. But if we can come together as Africans and we begin to collect our resources and we come in to invest, so that instead of having the foreign direct investment from other nations, the Africans, the diaspora, can come together into a block and we begin to invest into the infrastructure, into the opportunities to develop Africa. And so we believe that as professionals from the various industries and sectors gather together with the rest of Africa, and we begin to meet and our minds begin to discuss the challenges and opportunities that are before us, we shall begin to create a spiral that will form into a growth engine. We believe that this forum, the Inspire Synergy, will, in collaboration with other like-minded partners, is going to become an enabler that brings together those that have ideas but no investment capital, with those that have assets and no ideas, and those that have investment capital but no ideas or no assets. And we'll create a platform, a vehicle, a special purpose vehicle that can bring us together. And one of the thoughts that I have and will be sharing a bit more about is the save to invest. I gave an illustration that if the 2 million Ugandans in the diaspora, as per the UNDP statistics of 2014, they say there are 2 million Ugandans in the diaspora. If just the 2 million were committing just $1 a month, that means in 1 year, would be able to get $24 million. Just $1 each of the 2 million Africans. That would give us $2 million every month and $24 million in a year. Imagine that, and that burden is little for us. And this can increase. If you increase the amount 2 million, you just need half of those. If it's $2, we need 1 million of them. If it's $4, we need 500,000 Africans. Just to put together, we'll raise $1 million every month. And this is still your money. It's just that as a pool, it's able to do more things. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to just share with you a presentation of what we've done as a team. And then I will introduce Lydia, who will take us on with a case study, an example. I don't know if you can see my screen. I just want to share it. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet, sorry. Just a second. Share.
Okay, it's coming. You can see it now.
All right.
You can do full screen.
Okay, so as an executive summary, so the diaspora, oops, so I'm just trying to change the view. Apologies for that. So the Diaspora and the Rest of Africa Working Group was formed following the Inspire Synergy Conference in September, in August. And the working group's purpose is to foster partnerships between the home country and the diaspora with the rest of Africa. So what we want is to get the Africans in the diaspora, one, to collaborate and then do business with the African continent. But also within Africa, we need to do more intra-continental trade. So right now, most of us do trade. Yes, there's a bit of it, but not as much as we could leverage if we did more. So what are the challenges we identified with this? The first challenge is trust. There's a trust crisis with both our families and in business. A lot of people in the diaspora have been victims of bad experiences when they've sent money home, even to family members, and the money has been misused. So trust is one of the key challenges. How do we create trust? The people at home, how do you become trustworthy? How do you become the people that somebody else can send money to and you can be very good at utilizing? So trust is one of the biggest challenges. There's a lack of trust with family and even trust with doing business with each other. And this is largely because of embezzlement and misappropriation of funds. Money has been sent home and money has gotten lost because people have misused funds that they've received. And on top of that, there's also poor accountability. You send money and they can't explain how it's been used. I'm speaking generally, so don't feel like I'm speaking about my own experience. This is just a collection of experiences from different people. So poor accountability is the other challenge that we find. Then there's the challenge of poor work ethics. A lot of the people that we seem to, a lot of people are not as diligent as they could be. You find people not really putting their weight behind what they're doing. And so that's a challenge. Then we also have complications with intracontinental e-commerce. It's very interesting that it's very difficult even to send. I think one of us was sharing a situation where they wanted to send product from Uganda to Malawi, and there just wasn't any service provider who could make that route. We don't have sufficient network for supply chain management. So we need to see how to increase. So that's a challenge that we also found. The intercontinental business is difficult. Then we know that there are many the infrastructure challenges, the health infrastructure, the education infrastructure, and energy. These are the three that we called out as the areas of challenge within Africa that we think we can, as a diaspora, we can begin to address, and hopefully they can help us be able to get interested in coming together and investing in Africa. So what are the opportunities we've identified? So the first opportunity we've identified is the ability for us to collaborate with reliable business owners at home. I am a personal testimony of having started business. Since I finished school a couple of years ago, I have tried almost every business. I've tried food, I have tried cakes, I have done poultry, I have done juice, I have imported cars, I have tried businesses. And I have not been so successful where I have not been on the ground. But interestingly, last year, or was it the year before, we got in touch, we got connected to somebody, some of you know about Uni's Kitchen. And we've never met the owner, proprietor of Uni's Kitchen. But this person opened up for partners, and we were able to join up with her. And it's unbelievable, we've never met. But in 6 months of that relationship, we've been able to get dividends. We've been running, it's now more than a year. So there's potential for collaboration if we can identify reliable business owners at home that we can trust to do business with. There's also opportunity for investment in agribusiness for export so that we can increase incomes into Africa. We'll be having an example, a case study from Lydia, the next presenter. But there's a lot of opportunity in the agribusiness, and this is how we are looking at it. One, there's investing at home, because Uganda is gifted by nature. We've got very good soil. When you eat a pineapple from Uganda or a banana from Uganda, it's distinct, it's sweet, it's got taste that you can't find anywhere else. As I was telling the guys in the team, you buy one finger of banana in Dubai at $4, which is $10, 10 dirhams, which is 10,000 Uganda shillings. And yet with that same amount of money, you can get a batch of bananas. Why can't we leverage this opportunity? And the thing is, the current set of business is such that the people who make the money are the ones who trade in between. But if we had a collaboration between me, who is here as an importer, and you who is in Uganda that is growing, such that we are optimizing the benefit. I'm here to sell at a high price, and you're there to produce at a low price. And the proceeds are shared between us because we are one organization with two branches. Because this is exactly what investors that we have in our countries do. They come and purchase, they come and invest in Uganda, but what they're basically doing is having access to the raw materials and selling the raw materials to themselves in the developed markets. They produce goods and sell them expensive, so they make the full value of that gain. So if we can collaborate more, we have the people in the diaspora as outlets for the products that come from the country. We'll be able to increase the incomes that are coming to Africans, because whether you're there or here, we are still the same people. We're collecting money from there and sending it, repatriating it back home. The same way the foreign companies, national companies that are based in our countries, repatriate their profits back to the home country. So the Africans, the diaspora, can become the agents to sell the products that we are buying at reasonable prices back at home. So there's lots of investment opportunities in the agribusiness. There's opportunity for investment in health. The health sector in Uganda and Africa and most African countries is not optimal. That means there's an opportunity for us to improve it. There are many Africans, the diaspora, that are in the medical sector. We can provide the services pro bono or even professionally so that we can enhance the health sector in the home countries. Education. Many Africans, I know a lot of people that are in the education sector, headmasters, the principals of institutions in the West. How can we leverage that experience to go and help the education sector back at home? We can foster partnerships that can increase collaboration. My view is that if we can come together and begin to save together and invest together, we'll be able to optimize the benefit of collaboration. We also want to be able to support efforts for land reformation. One of the biggest challenges that we know back in Africa is land titling. I know so many people in the diaspora that have been victims of their land being grabbed. And this is one of the reasons why we're getting in partnership with the Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity, because we believe we need people in the legal profession to help us with securing our land. Land titling, there's an opportunity for us to foster land titling and also to secure the land that we've acquired back at home. The last opportunity we want to call out is the Diaspora Save for Investment, Save for Invest Africa. This is the concept I spoke about earlier. $1 a month per diaspora Africans will give us $12 per year. I'm just using the bare minimum. And yet this minimum with a lot of people will be able to create a sizable investment fund. The point we're trying to make here is that if we can invest together, not all of us have the capacity to invest alone. So if you can't do it alone, let's go it together. So what is the call to action that we want to make this evening? We want to begin to mobilize the diaspora communities to participate in the Save for Invest Africa scheme. We want the different African communities to begin to collect money. Some of you already have it, even better. But if we can begin to participate in a Save for Investment Africa, the money that you send, we're no longer just sending back money home for bread and food and clothing, things that get consumed. We want to invest, we want to produce more sustainable development of our continent. So we want to open an appropriate account of facilitated collection of savings. Is the other thing we need to do. And we're engaging lawyers to help us with this process. And if we can target to raise $1 million per year, that means we need 84,000 people. This is putting money into a fund, into a vehicle, a special purpose vehicle that is raising a minimum of $1 million per year. Friends, the spiral and the snowball effect that this will create will be able to begin to create the transformation that we want to see. We need to grow the pool of these funds as it accumulates. And last, we want the diaspora to identify opportunities to value add and sell home products and support each other. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. And I'll invite, at this point, I don't know, back to Emmanuel